Multiplayer games are becoming a big thing in computer gaming, and Merit has thrown its hat into the ring with Fighter Wing, a multiplayer-capable fighter sim.
It does include single-player gaming, but is designed mostly for modem and network play. Fighter Wing allows you to create pilots from different countries and fly American or Russian-made planes outfitted with a wide variety of weapons.
Play begins with creating a pilot. First, the pilot is given a nationality, then given a choice between flying American or Russian fighters.
Depending on the nationality of the fighter that I chose, I was presented with a different set of scenarios. The scenarios are straight from today's headlines and attempt to give a sense of realism to the game.
The scenario often takes actual world events and twists them to fit the game. For example, the scenario may begin with discussing SALT treaty talks and change actual history just enough to develop World War III. I thought that this was a little more interesting than having totally fictional scenarios.
I really liked the fact that the scenarios aren't always kill-em-all types of missions. In fact, some missions don't require shooting down enemy pilots at all.
That's right, like the mission in which you have to track down a nuclear missile heading towards Los Angeles. The whole mission is hunting and trying to destroy a single missile.
There are plenty of scenarios which feature killing a lot of enemy pilots, but it's nice to have some variety thrown in along the way. You can also pick which missions you want to play at any time, so one mission doesn't have to be completed before you can proceed to another.
Some scenarios allow you to pick which fighter you want to use. A really wide variety of fighters is given to you to choose from, including the F-16, the Stealth Fighter, and MiG fighters. Each fighter also comes with its own performance specs and production history. You can really feel the different abilities of the fighters in flight, and after flying a few missions and experiencing the different speed and maneuverability of each fighter, you'll soon have a favorite picked out.
And after you pick your fighter, there's a ton of weapons to choose from. There's machine guns, external fuel tanks, reconnaissance pods, and enough different missile types to suit any combat need. You can outfit your plane by hand or pick the default load option, and the computer will automatically fit your plane with a solid mix of weapons.
When I first saw Fighter Wing, I was disappointed in the graphics of the terrain. High resolution's not so bad, but running the good-looking stuff makes the game run choppy. You can lower the graphics detail to get more smoothness, but that's unattractive and, well, I thought it was just ugly.
But as you mentioned before, there are a ton of graphic options that can be toggled on and off so you can get the game to run smooth on your system. In medium or high resolution, you can even decrease the screen size to make it run faster. But on my Pentium 60, I had to make the screen so small that I couldn't see the action very well. Not everything looks bad, however. Some nice video footage is included from the television series Firepower. It depicts fighters taking off when you start a mission, shows missiles firing from an actual plane when you fire a missile in the game, and so forth. Of course, you can turn the video off if you want. And despite the ugly terrain, the external views of the planes are well done. The detail of the fighters is a real plus considering all the view options available.
And I really like having a lot of viewing options. Fighter Wing includes the basic full screen and cockpit views, as well as views showing your plane to and from the enemy, to and from your wingmen, an action view which is like a chase plane, the missile view, and more. And the camera is movable on all non-directional views. Fighter Wing was designed primarily as a multiplayer game, which is where its strengths really show through. Up to 16 players can play at one time on a network.
I enjoyed the different types of multiplayer games. Instead of just everyone shooting at everyone else, there are more organized games like Capture the Flag, or you can divide all of the players into teams. If it wasn't for the mediocre terrain, Fighter Wing would have been a good overall game. As it stands, it's not really worth much as a single-player fighter sim, but has real value as a multiplayer game.
I saw in the manual where they make no bones about the fact that this is designed primarily as a multiplayer game, and it's easy enough to see that that's where the salvation of this game lies.
Well, no one expects it to compete with Falcon or anything like that, but in offices that have network capability, Fighter Wing could really be a lot of fun. But as far as being a single-player game is concerned, forget it. There's plenty of single-player fighter sims out there that are much better.